How good can a bikepacking trip be if you plan it just one day before you leave? That's what I want to find out, because literally yesterday I had no plan, no route, nothing booked, and I wasn't even sure if I could actually go. And now I'm here, starting a 4-day ride from Salzburg to Vienna. No detailed plan, no real expectation, and yeah, this is also my first solo bikepacking trip, so I guess we'll just see how this goes. I got to Salzburg early in the morning, still a bit tired from the bus, but also excited to finally start. I rode a bit through a city center, but didn't really want to stop. I just wanted to get out and get moving. And pretty quickly it got really nice. The city just disappeared, and suddenly I was on these quiet paths, open fields, flowers everywhere. It felt way more relaxed than I was expecting. At that point I didn't really care where exactly I end up that day. I just wanted to keep riding and see what happens. I passed horses just walking along the bike path, which I didn't expect at all, and then a few old tractors drove past me. Right after that, I even passed this random event where they were showing Unimog vehicles. It all felt kind of random, but in a good way. Like I didn't plan anything, but things just kept happening. Then in the distance, I saw these really interesting mountains. They look different, not like what I'm used to, and I kept thinking, hopefully I'll get closer to them. And after a while, I actually did. That was probably the closest I got, and yeah, it looked even better than I expected. At that point, I kinda thought maybe this trip was actually a good idea. Not long after that, I reached a lake. And yeah, I had to stop. So I just stopped at this lake. It's like a very nice lake. And I'm gonna have like a 15-minute break just to eat something small and then to have enough energy to continue. I'm at kilometer 40, so I still have quite a way to go because I plan to ride 120 today, so it's still gonna be a challenge, but I am really amazed by these views. Like, how beautiful is this? It was one of the moments where everything just slows down. But then things got a bit confusing. I reached another lake and suddenly the road was completely full of cyclists. No cars, just people riding towards me. At first I thought I messed something up, like I'm going the wrong way. So I asked someone what's going on, and it turns out it was a car-free day around the lake. So I just joined them and started riding in the opposite direction. And doing it this way, I even avoided a climb. I followed the flow of cyclists, and it ended up working out perfectly. And honestly, it was one of the best parts of the day. The whole lake was full of people, restaurants packed, just really good atmosphere. So by this detour I was able to skip like 1-2 kilometer hill, which is great, but the problem is that I thought the McDonald's is in this city here, but it was one before on the route I should have gone, and there's one ahead, so I'll probably go to that one. After that, I kept riding and eventually stopped at McDonald's for a proper break. At that point, I still had around 30 kilometers left. This is surely the weirdest place I had a break, but there was no parks around, so I just found like a patch of grass that's not been mowed in a while, but yeah, it's gonna do for half an hour. And then 30 more kilometers probably, but the problem is I have nowhere to sleep. Like, the only probably the best option is wild camping, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but there's literally no camps. There's no camps, so I basically can't do anything but wild camp. There was like no way that I could lay in that grass, so I'll just continue and just have more time for finding my sleeping spot. I found this bench like 2 kilometers from that grass, So now I'll probably take 15 minutes to lay down because my back kinda hurts, not too much, and just chill. And it's also still quite hot. The sun is like very strong right now, so I'll just wait out because I have enough time. I'm in no hurry. The road turned into gravel, quieter, more empty. And when it started getting dark, I started looking for a place to camp. Eventually, I found a spot far enough from the path, just surrounded by forest. There were pheasants everywhere, and I even saw a few deer really close to me. Now the only problem is that I have to wait for like an hour and a half at least to set up my tent, because I don't want, if anyone comes by in like a day, to see me. So here's the camping situation. I'm just sitting in this bush. Bike is over there, and then I'm going to set tent up on that green part. It's more open, less things in a way. So we'll see. Let's hope no one passes, like when it's still day and even at night, and that I don't have a problem with any animals, because I really want to sleep. Then at some point I heard this really loud animal sound. Probably it was just a deer, but when you're alone out there, it feels a bit different. During the night it wasn't actually that cold, but I could feel the cold air on my face. And honestly, I was already looking forward to the next day. Day 2 started pretty simple. Quick ride to the store, breakfast on the bench, and then I continued toward Linz. Now I need to go down like very main road, and basically only trucks are on it. So I don't know if like there's no other way around. So I'll have to go there because there should be a ferry behind me, but it starts working on a Friday. So I guess bad luck. But there's like no shoulder on this road and just trucks and trucks and trucks. After that, I kept looking on a map for a way around and found a short, much safer detour. I just realized that I still have 80 kilometers to the camp, and I already did 61 kilometers, so that's gonna be like 140 kilometers. So yeah, I'll keep pushing on because I need to get some kilometers in before I take a longer break. Otherwise it will be too much for the evening and I won't be able to keep myself going. And somewhere in the middle of that, on the way to the lunch spot, I just started losing motivation. So I made a deal with myself. Every 5 kilometers I eat one candy. It sounds kind of stupid, but it actually worked. It gave me something small to look forward to. There you go. First sights of the city. Oh my goodness. That was such a long push. Not really, but still so annoying. Just got from Hofer and I bought like a whole bag of food because I want to eat good today. After lunch the road got a bit weird. I was riding on the main road for a while and then suddenly I was just on the edge of the road. It wasn't the most comfortable bike path, but luckily it didn't last long. Soon enough I was back on a proper bike path again. By the time I got to the campsite I was completely done. It was actually the longest day I've ever done on a bike. I've never ridden that many kilometers before. I was kinda proud that I made it that far. Tonight I stayed in this campsite behind me. It was quite quiet, just a few camper vans and me. I thought today I'm gonna do like 75 kilometers, but I decided I'm going to do 95, so I'll be tomorrow quicker in Vienna. Day 3 felt completely different. I was just following the river, riding through small, very old villages. Everything felt calmer, more relaxed. But at the same time, my legs were pretty tired, and I couldn't really tell if it was the wind slowing me down or if it was just me. Who do you think is gonna win? The boat or me? I'm trying to keep up with it, but it's just a bit faster. Probably like constant 23 kilometers probably. And I'm usually a bit lower, so just slipping out of my reach slowly and steadily. Originally, I planned to camp just about 15 kilometers before Vienna, so I wouldn't have to rush the last part. But at that point I was so close, and I just kept thinking, why stop now? So I decided to push all the way to Vienna and just finish it. I made it to Vienna, but yeah, it didn't end there. My train home got delayed and I missed my connection. So instead of going home, I ended up staying in a hostel in Graz. Not really part of the plan, but I guess this kind of fits the whole trip. I didn't really have plan for this trip, and somehow it still worked out. Maybe you don't always need everything figured out before. You can just go with the flow and enjoy the things as they come.